The year is 1206. A man named Temujin has just unified the Mongol tribes, taking the title of Genghis Khan. What followed was one of the most unstoppable military campaigns in human history. The Mongols didn't just conquer, they consumed continents. From the frozen steppes of Siberia to the walls of Baghdad, they rode like wind and struck like thunder. But what gave them this fearsome power? What allowed them to cross deserts without rest, storm cities without fatigue, and survive where others fell? It wasn't just strategy or weapons or numbers. The Mongols mastered a way of eating and living that turned them into pure endurance machines. They could go days with no fire, live off their horses, and draw strength from fermented drinks, dried meat, and raw blood. In this video, we reveal the powerful secrets of Mongol food and customs, and how these ancient warrior hacks could still transform your energy, stamina, and focus today. Let's begin with the foods that fueled the fiercest army the world has ever seen. The Mongols didn't rely on campfires or kitchens. Instead, they carried boards, air-dried, shredded meat, typically made from beef or goat, sliced into long, thin strips and hung under the saddle or in the wind. Boards could last for months. When needed, a pinch of boars could be dropped into hot water to make instant broth. It was pure protein, lightweight, portable, and calorie-dense. This meat powder kept warriors nourished during long rides, and modern science confirms dried meat in this form is low in fat, rich in amino acids, and free of spoilage bacteria. A single pouch of boars was enough to feed a man for a week. No frills, no fluff, just survival-grade strength. One of the Mongols' most sacred and powerful foods was arag, or fermented mare's milk. Tangy, frothy, and mildly alcoholic, it was rich in probiotics, enzymes, and beneficial bacteria. Consumed by children and elders alike, arag strengthened the gut, enhanced digestion, and provided hydration with electrolytes and lactic acid. It wasn't just a drink, it was a living tonic. Modern microbiologists have studied arag and found it contains over 40 strains of probiotic cultures, far more diverse than commercial yogurts. It kept Mongol stomachs strong, immune systems sharp, and allowed them to digest heavy meat-based diets without falling ill. This was their secret to thriving without vegetables in harsh terrain. When rations ran low, Mongol warriors didn't panic. They calmly nicked a vein from their horse, collected a cup of blood, and mixed it with water or milk to drink on the move. This was blood broth, a literal life-saving elixir. It sounds brutal, but it worked. The blood was rich in iron, protein, and B vitamins. It delivered rapid energy, rebuilt red blood cells, and kept them sharp during intense physical effort. The horses were unharmed and continued to ride. Modern science tells us blood is dense in hemoglobin and heme-iron, perfect for combating fatigue and oxygen deprivation in high-stress environments. Mongols didn't just eat to live, they ate to conquer. Long before bulletproof coffee became trendy, the Mongols already knew the power of fat. They rendered the fat of sheep and horses into dense, spreadable lard and stored it in leather sacks. It was used as a dip, added to milk, or eaten straight when food was scarce. This wasn't indulgence, it was strategy. Fat delivers over 9 calories per gram and burns slowly, making it ideal for long rides across the steppe. Combined with their carb-light diet, this fat-based fuel kept them lean, energized, and metabolically adapted for survival. Modern endurance athletes now recognize the value of high-fat diets for long-lasting energy. The Mongols, they were centuries ahead. Similar to arag but stronger, kumis was another fermented mare's milk product, sometimes allowed to become mildly alcoholic. It was both nourishment and cultural tradition. Mongols drank kumis during feasts, ceremonies, and even in the saddle. It contained lactic acid bacteria that strengthened digestion, supported immunity, and calmed the nerves. It was refreshing after battle and a symbol of celebration after victory. The fermentation process broke down lactose, making it drinkable even for the lactose intolerant. Humus also supplied essential amino acids, electrolytes, and gut-friendly bacteria. It wasn't just a drink, it was Mongol pride in a bowl. Mongols never wasted the inside of the animal. Bones, joints, and marrow were simmered into gelatine-rich soups, creating a broth loaded with collagen, minerals, and healthy fats. Bone marrow, in particular, is rich in stem cells, vitamin K2, and omega-3s. These nutrients rebuild tissue, support brain function, and heal the body after injury. This wasn't just food, it was recovery in a pot. In modern terms, this soup was a perfect anti-inflammatory, anti-aging, high-collagen recovery formula. Mongols didn't know the science, but they knew the power. They drank it, healed faster, and rode farther. Mongol riders carried arul, dried cheese curds, made from cow, goat, or mare's milk. These were sour, rock-hard, and extremely long-lasting, perfect for warriors that were always on the move. Arul was packed with calcium, protein, and beneficial bacteria. A few bites a day preserved bone strength, kept hunger away, and maintained gut health. Its extreme dryness meant it wouldn't spoil, and it doubled as a water-absorbing food, slowly melting in the mouth to help with hydration and digestion. Modern hikers and soldiers use similar dense rations, but the Mongols did it with raw milk and open-air drying, natural, potent, and impossible to replicate in labs. While horses were sacred companions, the Mongols also valued them as food, especially in winter or during extreme travel. Horse meat is lean, high in iron and B12, and rich in omega-3 fats compared to other red meats. It was boiled, dried, or eaten raw with blood or fat. Its low-fat, high-protein composition helped maintain muscle mass and stamina. It digested efficiently and provided steady energy. While it might seem taboo now, horse meat was a strategic choice. It symbolized sacrifice for survival, unity with nature, and adaptation at all costs. Bortsog was a fried bread dough made from flour and fat, crispy, oily, and calorie-dense. It was often eaten with stewed meat broth, creating a meal of carbs, fats, and protein all in one. This was the Mongol version of comfort food and calorie maximization. The combo of soft meat, hot fat, and chewy dough delivered both energy and morale. After long rides or cold raids, this was warmth in a bowl. Today's performance athletes chase macronutrient balance. Mongols had it naturally. Their stew gave them muscle fuel, mental clarity, and spirit. They ate like warriors, efficient, primal, and powerful. The Mongols understood that strength didn't only come from muscle, it came from organs. Liver, heart, kidneys, and eggs were consumed regularly, especially after battles or hunts. Liver is a natural multivitamin, rich in vitamin A, iron, zinc, and CoQ10. It boosts immunity, oxygen transport, and recovery. The heart is loaded with taurine and B vitamins for stamina and cardiac health. Boiled eggs were a luxury when available, offering complete protein, omega-3 fats, and essential minerals. Modern science now confirms what Mongols instinctively knew. Organ meats are among the most nutrient-dense foods on the planet. Eating them wasn't just survival, it was optimization. The warrior code in every bite. The Mongols weren't just conquerors. They were biological masters of fuel, function, and fierce adaptation. They didn't waste food, didn't rely on luxury, and didn't eat for pleasure. Every bite was strategic, chosen to fuel the next ride, the next clash, the next empire. Their cuisine was high-fat, high-protein, fermented, portable, and elemental. It came from their land, their herds, and their bond with nature. No sugar, no waste, no weakness. We modern people are surrounded by abundance, yet drained of energy. Perhaps the real secret of the Mongols isn't in a specific food, but in the mindset: eat for function, train for movement, live for purpose, and never fear the elements. In their saddlebags, the Mongols carried the fuel of kings. In their bodies, the fire of empires.